in.
Welcome to a whole new episode of Charges to the Game.
Yeah, man.
And we're here, we are Charges to
And
the
we're
Game.
back.
Definitely not in the same tracksuit. This is different. This is that different Puma.
The thing is, that one just dropped like 3 weeks later. So
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
Stop letting them know when we record,
We
man.
can cut it off the first 30 seconds, we'll cut that off.
Yeah.
Anyways, and we're here, we are Charges to the Game. We are the podcast with the highest level of analysis that the culture needs. I'm Uncle Jay, but you might can call me Jordan. I'm here with...
You know it's your girl's favorite voice, Big Ditch nigga with the Midas touch.
God damn it, Steve.
Second most light skin in the podcast, Dave _Smithway with the eye. Do you know what? I don't have another one. I don't have a funny one. I've run out. I've run out this just for this week. Yeah.
So this is our wrap-up episode where we're just going to talk about ourselves, the year we've had, and our hopes into going into 2023, the music we've seen. I know you probably, if you haven't watched those on the panel show that we did, Culture Click, is it? What was up here introducing us?
It will come out when it comes out.
Culture Check. If you didn't see it on Culture Check, this is just a more expanded version of us giving our take on everything that we've gone through this year, personally, professionally, podcastly, everything. So, welcome. Is that a word?
Is that a word?
I don't know, man.
It is now.
Indulge, so how you man?
Also the English language is fake, so it doesn't really matter.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't be making up words.
How are you mans though? How are you mans?
You know what? This week I feel inspired.
Really?
I feel fulfilled.
Really?
I feel grateful.
Really?
I feel refreshed. Like I'm.
Is he ever happy?
We've done a Freaky Friday.
Right?
Yeah, we've done a Freaky
Is he
Friday.
ever in a good mood?
'Cause I'm sick of everything. I just want this hench week to be
Bro,
over.
I want this
I'm tired.
hench week and the rest of the year.
I don't care if they say I don't
I'm not booking
socialise.
anything anymore. Leave me alone, people.
Nessa's gonna kill us and say we don't like going outside. It's like I like going outside. I just don't like going outside 3 or 4 times in a week. That's it. Like
anything more than 2.
so
I like-
Duracell battery motherfuckers, man. Just
I like being outside.
You're not outside enough.
Yeah, but like just because I'm not outside enough doesn't mean I
Why
don't
aren't
like
you
being
outside
outside.
more?
no, he likes being outside. But
Yeah, but
I like being outside too. You like being outside.
When
but
I'm
then,
there, it's
but
fine.
then, but then I see it hit 10:30.
Do you know, I've actually noticed, I want to talk about this actually. I realized,
Speak on it, King.
being outside now, people like attach it to the later you are outside, the more fun you're having. But I think, as this is fugazi, because after I went to your brother's brunch that he organized, I realized there's just different ways to socialize it. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna be out
But that's a
to have
night.
fun
That's a
time.
night catered to getting it in at that time.
That's
Like
No,
there's a
but-
lot, if you
Why
see a
can
night,
I
if you
enjoy
see a
that?
night that goes from I agree because I enjoy that night
Yeah.
too. But if I see a night that goes from 7 to 11 or something like that,
Yeah.
there's a bit of build up to the night, and the night might not peak to like maybe 10 or 8:30 or 10.
Oh, then you feel like you have
Yeah,
to
do
stay
you get
out
what I mean?
longer.
Yeah, and then you feel you have to stay longer
yeah,
because
yeah,
I have
yeah.
bro. I've left plenty of events early, and I've heard David, I
Yeah.
got pop in, this happened, that happened. You know what I mean? It's like them later events.
Because I was talking to to Tommy and he was saying like, yeah, we want to do events that cater to people because obviously he says on a pod, he doesn't go clubbing. So the events that he wants to do is like, we come out at 6, have a good time by 11, 12,
Yeah.
we can all go home. And I'm like, oh, maybe I've attached to having a good time of being outside to being out till 3 a.m. Whereas I can go to a brunch or I can go to a sip and paint and still I'm out for the same amount of hours, but I'm just out in the hours that suit me better.
Dude, you know what it is? It's just fun means different things to people.
Yes.
And I feel like you're almost made feel like if you're not doing this stereotypical thing, it's not fun. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Oh, you're no fun. You're no bands. You're no
You're
this,
going
that.
home at 11, that's not fun. But I've had the fun.
Yeah, but
Like, I
even...
was having fun from
Fun,
6
fun
to
is
11.
such a subjective thing, but it's the one kind of like subjective thing that we can't agree to disagree on because we both could be at an event and it's like you have to have the same amount of fun or you have to consider what I consider fun to be fun. Otherwise, we're gonna have an issue.
Yeah,
Then.
no.
Like I've been out. Honestly, I've been out with my friends and I'm like I've realized actually as much as I love my friends, as much as I know my friends, I feel like this to them is fun and to me this is not fun at all. But it's like I'll be a bit of a dampener if I say it's not
It's
fun.
not fun, yeah.
Yeah, but to me, this is so far from fun. But then I could do something. I could tell them to engage something. It's like, and you find out a lot more on holidays. I don't know if you've ever been on holidays or something, even just a set of 3 or 4 mates. I don't know about you, lot, but I just get into it with my mates about trying to find what we can do, trying to find a middle ground of what is fun, and then just go with it from there.
But I think it's the most prevalent when you're the only person that doesn't drink. When you're not drinking, or even if you just say, "Oh, I'm not drinking tonight." Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, you're no crack.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, you know, I can, like, because the thing is, I drink now, yeah. But there was a long time where I just didn't really drink. And people almost looked at me like, "Oh, I wasn't having fun." I was like, "No, I'm having time of my life.
Yeah, I'm
I
enjoying
don't,
this right now. But
I
you're
don't
sober.
need to have
drink,
it.
yeah,
I don't need to have a drink because I feel like in this world that we're kind of in now, if you take out like a lot of things for people is just drinking. Like a lot of like
That's what they introduce to everything.
celebrate, you drink. You're sad, you drink. You go out, you drink. You get ready to go out, you drink. You come back home, you're stressed, you're happy, bro. It's just drinking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no.
but if you don't drink, you can also still have fun. Do you get what I mean?
I get you. It's like it's not about being like you're saying. It's very subjective. Being outside for me, and I keep saying this, like going out to your brother's thing. I was like, oh, I saw different faces that I wouldn't see in the stereotypical outside. I was like, oh, this is the way they still long to engage and interact with people and have fun.
That's
but this is how they want to do it,
Yeah.
and they shouldn't be shamed into doing it. Like you went to sip and break from 4 and you want to go home at 10. You're no crack. They're out for the same amount of time as you go from like 11 to 4.
Also,
Yeah.
you know what?
4 hours.
But you know what I think as well. You know, like I feel like when you go out clubbing, you actually don't really meet anybody.
Yeah.
You don't really actually engage with people like that.
The
Like
whole purpose of clubbing is to stick with your friends.
Yeah.
especially if you're a guy that's not on the hunt
Yeah.
or on the prowl as well.
All of us.
Being a guy that's not on a hunt. Let him cook, man. Let him cook. I don't even get why everyone
I
say-
didn't
why
even
everyone
say
wants to
anything.
term himself
You
as-
give me side eye,
let
I
them
didn't
cook,
even say
man.
anything.
Let them cook.
I didn't say a single word.
I gave up trying to determine what that even is at this stage.
I'm a black male that currently lives in Ireland.
Anyway, this is the recap. So I want to introduce a few topics. You guys can introduce topics. See, I just had a few in my head when it was driving up. Dave, how was your year personally? 2022. How would you describe it?
Oh, that was a load
Oh,
of
you want me to start then?
No. You asked. Same way. I'd say my year, has been productive. A lot more productive. Yeah, man. Like I was only looking at my posts last year, and I was just saying like it's mad the way it felt like a milestone to us just getting a string of podcasts together at the end of the year. But now it's like, it feels weird if we're not podcasting weekly, and then just
arguing about missing an episode.
Yeah,
So we can't miss one.
just even that, and
We'll get into the podcast later, but I want to talk about you, like your year, personally.
fuck all lads, I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, that's not true. That's not true.
Fuck all.
You really got into your 9-to-5 bag this year.
Yeah, how was that? Because we went from I'm in to I'm in. Because I know people listening, but
Yeah, no, I just start clocking 9 to 5 a bit more.
yeah, you understand the game a bit
Peak.
more.
It's fugazi.
Everybody's just trying to not
conflicts.
get in trouble.
Conflict of interest are mad, but can't even get into it too much.
Yeah, no.
Not gonna lie, lads. Sorry, I'm tired, innit?
Yeah, no. So you wanna?
My year personally, I feel like it's been an odd year. Because a lot of people keep telling me, "Oh, Deji, you're happier. Oh, Deji, you see
Well, it
this."
seems that way. Maybe we're
Yeah.
wrong.
Like, life has changed. I'm not gonna lie, life has changed. Even with this podcast thing, right? Like, it's not even about the podcast. It's about I used to be the flaky person. Like I've said it on the podcast. What's called? You guys give me an episode to edit. I might disappear for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
People had to text other people to find me, kind of situation. People that are close to me to find me, kind of situation. But now I feel like I'm trying to be just more professional. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm still struggling with this. If I say I'm going to do something, making sure that I actually do it, and just like, I feel like I've just kind of come into me a bit more, kind of been outside a bit more, kind of been like showing my face a bit more, and stuff like that. But on a personal level, this year has just been. It feels like this year is a setup for the next year, but I feel like I probably said that in 2021 as well.
But it always is. Like, I get what you're saying. Like you're always building up for the next this year, essentially. And yeah, go on, sorry.
No, that's pretty much it. Like,
Yeah, no, I think for myself personally, this year has been a lot of adaptation, like adapting into leaving the house for the first time ever. I'm living away from my parents. Like I've never experienced that, so adapting into that life and adapting into living with someone. It's not like I'm just living away. I'm living with someone, and then adapting into being a husband, then adapting into a new role, and adapting into being consistent with the podcast. There's just so much, like a new role in my professional life, my 9 to 5. There's just so much adaptation to take place, and to be fair, there's even certain situations that happened to me personally later during the year that I can't get on about the podcast, and learning to adapt how to handle when those happen. And I could put my hand up and say I didn't handle it the best. I just thought, you know what, keep going, keep marching. Maybe I should have taken my foot off the gas and be like, you know what, it's okay for me to stop. This thing that just happened is a big deal, and it needs time to process. It needs time for me to be at home with my wife and deal with like whatever's happening. You know, so I've had to learn to adapt to that as well. So for me personally, it's just moving now, having responsibilities for the first time, learning to be a husband. I just felt like I've been adapting, you know, that kind of way. Towards the years, and I think next year, then we'll get into next year later. So that's how I feel personally. And I just wanted to ask you, man, in regards to the podcast, because obviously I know we talk pretty much every day because we do this podcast together, Dave. How do you give me your overall view on how the podcast has gone for you this year and working together and all this?
Yeah, no, it's gone good because like I said, like I'm not gonna lie, like my personal life this year has been alright. Do you know what I mean? Like it hasn't, like, to be honest, I'm obviously 24, like gone from 23 to 24, so I'm sort of in a tough kind of transitional stage. To be honest, I've had better years, not been a great year. In terms of the podcast though, like we've taken strides with that seriously. Like when we say we're on it pretty much, you know, as simple as that. And like the standard we set now, like the arguments we have now, even about the podcast and stuff like that, we wouldn't have even like thought of. Yeah, we wouldn't even thought of that like last year. You know what I mean? Like, even if something's off by like a day or two, or you know, like if the podcast is a few hours off being uploaded, stuff like that.
I'm vexed.
This is that way. No, it's like, you know, the podcast.
I do think though we need to going into 2023. We need to learn just to, you know, be able to chill out a bit about it. I know we kind of feel like sometimes where the podcast that kind of has a point to prove, like in a lot of times, but
chip on our shoulder.
It'd be nice to just take the gas off of it, because we even do see we chat to our peers and we talk to our peers, and they kind of know when to chill on it and take the foot off and stuff like that. But we're always kind of, I don't know, we have this hunger about us, which is good, and this point to prove, which is good. Like when obviously last year when we weren't in conversations and stuff like that, like we didn't take it personally. I think we acted like the ultimate professionals and said, look, we're not going to take this personally. We're going to use this kind of not being in the conversation as motivation. But I still think sometimes we do carry that, like, you know what I mean? Because it's great to have, but just to know when to like have breaks from it and stuff like that, and just to chill out.
It's funny that you say that because I completely disagree.
I knew you would.
Because because the thing is, like, the things that got us here are those conversations of like, bruv, like being. People hate that I use this word, but being anal, being anal about having things out on time, and being anal about like, and like kind of like, even if something's out a few hours late, it's just kind of like, because for me, what I like, I've done podcasting a lot. This is my third go around. No, fourth if you include 3 at the back. This is my fourth going around the podcast, and this is the only time that there has been any sort of traction at all. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's been bits here where, this might peak for a tiny bit and then it'll go down, and this might peak for a tiny bit and whatever. And it's kind of like, with all those other times, we'd miss an episode. It'd come out late, it'd do this, it'd do that. But every time I look at the people that are not even just outside of Ireland as well, when I look at the people that are doing what they need to do, every time people are always talking about, you almost, not that you have to be obsessed, and I don't want to sound like one of these motivational speakers or whatever, but on the listener side, I know that when I used to listen to like 30, 40 podcasts actively, if an episode doesn't come out,
30, 40?
Bro,
are you finding the time?
Bro, 4-hour commute, 2 hours to work and 2 hours back, 9 hours at a desk, and I literally pretty much just stopped listening to music. I was probably bro, that's what, 11, 12 hours worth of time to fill content in with. Do you get what I'm saying? And a bunch of it is an hour, 2 hours, maybe Rogan, that's 3 hours, whatever. But I know how it feels to be not depending on something, but you know, when that show that you love, it's out at this time. If you love that show, it's going to annoy you that it's not out on that day. Do you get what I'm saying? Like when 50 just goes one week and it's like, oh yeah, there's no power this week. I'm vexed. Do you get what I'm saying? And that is somebody that has the people following him, that they will give him that leeway of like, I'm vexed, but I fuck with it so much that I'll come back next week.
And I get why people take it on a personal level trying to cut you off because it's an outlet. It's like it's almost it's like therapy for me. So why are you pulling off my therapy?
Exactly, and you promised me that this thing was going to be here.
The best part, so one of the best part about Iron being so small and we still know each other. Like, I text these people. I'm like, "Where's your podcast this week?"
Do you know what I mean?
I would text you. I'm like,
"Yeah,
you didn't drop the pod.
Yeah.
What's happening? Because it's Wednesday. I'm in my car. I need to press play. Like, where is this thing?"
And it's one of those situations where it's just kind of like even speaking to like Tommy, and he's like, we didn't do anything special. We just were there every week. We just showed up every week, and we just made sure, like, once you allow people to rely on you, they will continue to rely on you. They'll continue to come back. So if they know that every Wednesday I'm getting a good episode, whether it's going to be an hour, whether it's going to be 2 hours, all I know is that I'm going to get at least in between an hour and 2 hours of good conversation. The day that I don't get that, I'm going to be let down. And then I don't feel like, because I like to be realistic with myself, I don't feel like we have the clout that people are going to be like, oh yeah, like there are going to be some people, but I'd rather underestimate than overestimate. There are people, like, we're not 50, that people are going to be like, oh yeah, I'll be back next week. Or it's annoying, but fuck, I'll be back next week. And it's just one of those ones where that person that might have just listened to us for the first time, because at the end of the day, we're still not struggling for listeners, but we're still building our followers and stuff like that. So I want to retain every single person that we could possibly retain. So I don't want to lose somebody because of something as trivial as missing an episode or something not going out on time, when that is very much something that's within our control. Obviously, when if it's outside of our control, life happens and all that kind of shit, I can understand that. But trust me, you see me, yeah? I've got an excuse for everything under the sun. So, and because I know that, and I can come up with an excuse for everything, that's one thing about this year as well. Starting to understand when something is this an excuse or is this life? And once you start realizing that most of it is excuses, things will start changing. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you know how many times I couldn't edit the episode today, lads? I was doing this, or I was doing this, and I was doing this. And remember, I told you guys, my life sometimes just like there's always something happening. There's always something crazy happening, like everybody. And it's kind of like, bro, those things never stop. So is it that you're just not going to get things done on time, or you're just not going to get things done? Or...
So from what I understand is like, you've looked in the mirror, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously.
Yeah.
You've looked in the mirror and you've seen the version of who you were, and then you've like, okay, I'm just making excuses. I need to set the standards, because if I keep letting these things be excuses, then nothing's ever going to get done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is like...
And then you want to maintain those standards, and that's why sometimes you're like, I don't even want you don't want the podcast to drop, because it's a big part of your life. So it's like, if the standards drops here, then you're letting kind of yourself let your standards drop.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I know, because apparently people think I'm like proper, like, some people think I'm cocky and I'm like proper up my own ass, but I actually genuinely appreciate everybody that fucking listens. Like, everybody that takes their time out to listen, everybody that shares the podcast, everybody that has ever come up to me and be like, oh my God, you're on a podcast. Or even people are just like, oh, I've even seen, not even that I've heard your podcast, I've just seen your podcast. I appreciate every single one of those people. And apart from even just feeling like sometimes I'm letting you man down, I feel like I'm letting them down. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, if it's something that I know within my power that this can get done, short of somebody dying or something very, very insane happening, we can most likely get everything out. Do you get what I mean? So that's why I'm just kind of like, I see what you mean about taking your foot off the gas, but the thing is, like, taking our foot off the gas is what led to us ending those other podcasts. And the only time we've seen, like, we've all done different podcasts.
But this is the thing, I've never had my foot on the gas with a podcast. So
yeah,
all of this is just new for us to like navigate.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We haven't had our foot on the gas for all the other podcasts, and look at what we've done in the space of 3-4 months. We're getting listenerships. We're getting the same amount of listens in
a day,
in not even a day, sometimes in 3-4 hours than we used to do in a month sometimes. And I
shared the analytics. I was like, look how far we do. Like, these 4 episodes did not match what we got just in a day,
bro. And the only thing that got us there was putting our foot down. So why let your foot off when you could just keep going? And the thing is, like, I do understand people need breaks and all this kind of shit, and that's why obviously niggas can stack record episodes and make sure everything is done so we get a little break. But you guys don't know about that. But yeah, but you get what I'm saying. But it's just kind of like, we know we have this commitment. We know that we like, it's not a surprise that, oh my God, we're supposed to drop an episode on Wednesday. No, we know the episode's coming out on Wednesday, so let's just plan accordingly. And a lot of the times, like, with good planning, you can get shit sorted out. So that's why I'm kind of like, I do understand about like, oh, let's chill out, but I also kind of like, I've been chilled out for so long in my life. that I'm tired of chilling out. Chilling out hasn't gotten me anywhere, bro. Like, bro, I'm 27 now, bro, man. Not that 30 means my life is gonna be over, but bro,
You like to have something pattern.
bro, in my life, I have ambitions of I want to be on 30 under 30. You don't get that from.
You should do what I did and get married early as well.
Fuck off. I want to be on like 30 under 30. So it's just like certain shit that I want to achieve, and like listening to, when you consume that many podcasts and that much information as well, you start realizing patterns and everything. Do you get what I'm saying? People saying that we showed up every week. People saying that it's not even about. It's actually not about your talent. It's about your heart. It's about your hard work. It's about your. It's not about your skill.
That dog in you.
You get what I'm saying? Like literally, like you guys said, that morning session where you didn't want to go, bro. Do you know why I haven't lost bare weight? Because that morning session I don't go. Do you get what I'm saying? But the thing is, it slaps when you stay in bed. But you know how you felt when you had to be wearing fucking hoodies in the summer, bro.
I still have a video with Dave when he was big, and I look at him, I'm the same guy.
Do you get what I mean? And that shitty moment where you could have stayed in bed for those 2 hours, or you could have had that cheeseburger, or you could have done whatever. The fact that you didn't do that makes you feel so much better now, because you can be like, nah, I'm that fucking guy now. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's the same way I see the podcast. Do you get what I mean? And it's that once you start building that consistency across life, you start realizing that, bro, things that you didn't think were possible for to happen starts happening. And that's why I completely disagree with what you said, because
and you're perfect. You put perfect.
Yeah, no, you put it. That was a good point.
Yeah.
And for me, obviously, in terms of the podcast, the 2022, in the least cockiest way, I'm honestly not surprised. And that's why sometimes I don't get gassed. No, I'm honestly not surprised.
we them guys.
Because, no. That's why sometimes like you look at me and you say, I'm not in the moment, I don't get gassed, because throughout my life, I've seen what persistence and perseverance and consistency has brought me. Through like my relationships, through school, through work. It's always brought results. And I'm watching the people that I admire, they're telling you, be consistent, do clips, and you'll see results. And you'll see results. So now I'm doing the same thing that has always worked for me on a personal basis. And I'm doing this, and like we joke and say Vince McMahon Dumba, because I know that like there needs someone that always has to put the foot on the gas, put on the gas, put on the gas. So there has to be one person. And just seeing the growth, and I don't even mean to be cocky, it's just, I know what hard work results to, and I know what hard work has always resulted to in my life. So just to see it apply to this, it's like, obviously, it's maths. I went to the gym, I was skinny, I went consistently, I got a bit of muscle.
I saw a video of Jordan skinny. I was like, what the fuck? Jordan Loki has glowed up in front of everybody and nobody's noticed.
They can't send it to my wife and find me. So I don't mean that I just honestly don't mean it to be cocky. So I get what you're saying, because obviously doing Trade to Back with Joe's like the ultimate professional. Joe's like a professional. If you work with Joe, you know he's on things. And we're on it that way. And although, if like you always say, there was some episodes Trade to Back was actually doing very well, considering like there was no. Trade to Back used to do well. So to sit here and look at the podcast this year, and I'm like, yeah, obviously consistency and clips, it worked. Like also, I've preached this, and I also just still on the podcast. I want to ask you guys, what moment of our podcast this year have you been like, nah, that was a sick moment, or a sick guest, or I'll start with this one, because my narrative is like the narrative of no support happens in Ireland, and people, we might look at our numbers and say, oh, we could get more support. Everybody could look at that and say they could get more support in Ireland. But my thing, I look at support as like, look who's shown up for us, and how they've shown up. Fiona got off a flight the next day. She was recording with us. Tommy was here. We had the shittest episode that everything went wrong that could go wrong, and he still came back. We cancelled on him, and he came back again. And these are people that we're not paying them. They're bringing us gifts. They're taking public transport. Fiona Oyinza said she never listened to an episode. Just on the back is like she wants to support us. She showed up. She's learning how to drive, and she came and she took that risk, and she showed up for us. So just those little things are like my favorite moment. Like people are actually going out of their way, using their petrol, bringing us gifts, just on the back of like, oh, they like us. Because like Deji said, I love to talk that shit, like, oh, we're such a big platform, but we're growing our platform.
I think I want to shout out Keston as well.
Keston came, I forgot about that because I'm thinking about the studio. Keston came from Limerick to my house, and he had work the next day. Yeah,
next day.
He was going back.
He was going back because he had work. Keston, shout out to you. So those moments are like stand-up moments for me personally, because people might look at
the batteries.
Okay. No, so keep going.
No, I need to change the battery.
Oh
Yeah. Anyways, quick interlude. While you're listening, please go Culture Shop Media.
Culture Shop.
Follow
That's
that.
it, that's it.
What's called? Also follow my personal page, Big Deji _BIGDEJJ_. Follow the podcast page, The Charges to the Game Pod. Follow Dave Smith without the underscore, without the I. Follow
Jordan M. That's who your boy is.
Yeah,
Boy
and
inside.
like, look, 2023 is coming. We're trying to be influencers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get that hashtag ad. Like that.
Oh, we're gonna do ads next year.
100%.
Sponsorships, all of these things.
Like, we're trying to build this. Like we said, we're trying to build up our following in that.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to make this shit look nice and crispy for y'all.
And you gotta help us make it look nice and crispy.
Because look, I'm telling you.
This is still the interlude. We're just trying to waste time until Dave gets it.
Why you go? Don't give away the behind the scenes. Look, this is. Yo, this is your boy Big Dej. If you listen to us on the ones and twos, make sure you follow. Make sure you follow us. Anyways,
yeah, no, so I just wanted to highlight that first. That like the support that we've just been getting. That every time we reach out, people make the effort. They come and they give us gifts. And I know people get bogged down with the numbers and what they're seeing, but I've never approached someone says, "Do you want to do the pod?" and they're like, "No," and they're not trying to big time us because, like, if we're being real. Like Oyinza has a bigger following than us. If they're coming on our podcast, she could just say there's no benefit. Like it doesn't give me any notoriety, any more notoriety. It's easy for people to say I'm not wasting my Tuesday at 8 p.m. driving down to this place to record for 2 hours. So that part I appreciate. But one of my favorite episodes was when Ayo brought when we did the APNI.
Fucking hilarious.
God,
yeah.
Shout out to all the guests with
Yeah.
the APNI episode because Dave will tell you that day I just drove in silence. I drove up here. I wasn't talking. I was wrecked. And then he came in with his work attire. I was like, I can't believe we're going to talk to Uncle for 2 hours. When he started talking, I was like, this is the best episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
We need to bring him back because the funny thing is, I feel like that second episode is going to be funnier.
Yeah, because we know what to expect. I was going to say that too because with like guests like Dongo, the Nestor, the Tommy, we know what to expect. We know podcasters are going to come on podcasts. You know you're going to have a good time. But that day, I didn't know what to expect. And for them, he pulled up. I'd say that and doing a live show, those are definitely my.
I'd say for me, probably the drunk episode. That one was just chaotic and I loved it.
Yeah.
Low key, the Dami Babs one.
Oh, that was good too.
That was a really kind of deep one as Dongo would say, but like it was genuinely just a really, really kind of enlightening one for me. So I really, really enjoyed that one. Yeah, even like I said, some from the head, even some from the other spot, Femi's one.
Yeah.
Femi's one was the one that got us blown a bit on TikTok. That
was our first clip that hit.
Yeah,
a couple thousand views.
Yeah,
like shout out Femi.
We did a big live show as well. I know this is gonna be that late. So bigger, better things for Femi next year for sure. It's gonna happen inevitably.
For me, honestly, because I want to choose different moments to you guys. Like, there's been a bunch of moments, whatever. But I honestly feel like having Cello and Nubrion, that was a moment. Because and then seeing Cello then go on to then get a top 10, fucking album.
Because
I mean, you want to see the guy win. Like he's just like he came up to me as a word, and he's saying like it's an honor to be on the podcast. And to be honest, even that day, like you can never really tell how guests feel about it. They're like, oh yeah, good. So you can't. He's a real kind of reserved, laid back guy and all this stuff. So he's like, oh yeah, it's good, and then all this stuff. And then I see him at the live show. You guys, like, I just want to say it was an honor to be on the podcast. Thanks for having me. Yeah,
like, an honor. He said to me, "Is like," and I took this on board because you're there at the live show and you're seeing 300 people and you think this is what you have to do first. And then he just walked up to me, says, "Look, don't think this is what you have to do. You could just do something intimate and build from there." And I was like, do you know what?
He said that to you at the show?
Yeah, he said that to me in the bathroom, literally word for it. Because I'm thinking of like live shows next year. And then I'm thinking like, oh, if we can't do Sugar Club, we shouldn't even do live show. We should wait till we're at a level to do Sugar Club. That's what I'm thinking. And I was chatting to him and I was like, do you know what? Every artist, they start like Ed Sheeran, they start small. So you don't just get to Wembley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do gigs here and there. So I really took that on board. I was like, yeah, he's right. We can build up to this level. We don't have to start from this level.
If I say again, visionary, they say I'm trying shit, but I be envisioning shit.
But we have
but I feel like that one was that one was important to me because it was our peers recognizing that our platform is a platform to come and promote.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't come and do certain things if you don't feel like it's worth
Yeah.
it. Do you get what I'm saying?
And that's what I brought up at the thing we recorded as well. It's like, it's great that we can work in tandem on one hand, but they also don't have to come to us if they don't want to. And even that in itself is an honor. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's great. Like, you feel like this would get you enough visibility, probably even show another, and keep in mind, a lot of people go on the podcast too because they want to show another aspect to themselves as well. So they're like, what would be the best kind of platform that'll show me in a good light? And it's like some of these, and that's what I'm saying. They're looking at us. They're looking at Nestor's Pods. They're looking at like Dongo. They're looking at Where's Your Head At and stuff. And it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, do you guys have any, like, because everyone always talks about the good moments. Do you have any moments that are bad? Like, obviously, we don't have to go. I'm not even pod, just live pod, whatever.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, without going too deep, you don't have to come and tell your whole life story.
Situation in my personal life that happened that I just can't talk about it. But it broke my heart this year. It broke my heart.
For me, honestly, Brianna, I miss you, babes. For context,
Let it go.
Brianna is
clips. You see Brianna's
Start writing eulogy.
There's actually an episode called Brianna's interlude.
Yeah.
If you want a context.
Shout out to my
listen to
Audi.
that.
Nah. 2023, we bring my babes back. But honestly, you know what? I actually feel like this year was a year of resilience. Like, obviously, I come in here with the, I just come here chatting nonsense. But like, there's been some crazy shit that's happened, and regardless of that, just you persevere in it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Like there's been a lot of situations where I've just pulled up here regardless. But I can tell you there's a lot of episodes where I've came and I'm either not in the mood or just borderline, like just. And this is the thing, like you have to tap into an alter ego, and sometimes you can't wear the face too much. Sometimes I'm struggling today just because I'm tired, but like literally sometimes you can't really keep wearing the face.
Sometimes it's like it's like about taking your foot off the gas. There's an example, like there's certain things that like you're saying, I'm like, I need to be on it.
Yeah.
But there is certain moments where I should have been like, you know what, I was wrong for prioritizing put my foot on the gas. I needed that time. I needed to take my foot off the gas, and I probably shouldn't. I will say that I probably shouldn't have been here for the solo episode that week. Because remember, I missed the Ronn's episode the next day. So for the same reason, wasn't here for the Ronn's episode. I shouldn't have been here for the solo episode.
Yeah, and I think that's also.
I need to learn that part as well to be like, okay.
Yeah, but I think that's also the beauty of having people that you can rely on, because it's kind of like, I know that even if I'm not there, like that's one of the things I love about having the trio, because I know if I'm not there, you might well hold it down. Do you get what I'm saying? And I know if Dave can't show up, like what Dave wasn't here last week. If you could, no, not last week, Monday's episode, Newbury's episode, what's called, we still got it done. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of having. You know, we do this thing, brother.
Yeah, I know. I had to do 10 toes, and it's just I would have been like, it's like maybe 3 hours getting here today.
Do you guys feel like you have alter egos? Speaking on what Dave was saying,
that's what I'm saying. I've tapped into a lot this year.
What's your alter ego's names?
Oh, Jamie Walls, obviously.
Do you still use that?
I don't use it, but that's who he is.
Oh my god! You know what? Those were your wild Twitter days as well. Oh, makes sense. What about you? What's yours?
My boys called me Jersey Dave back in the day because I used to be fair, I used to be a bags man when I was single. Like I was prolific enough, respectable records. So I had that. So that was my alter ego. But my alter ego now is probably second most light skin, whatever. Like,
Uncle J actually, Unks would probably be the alter ego now. Leaning into the uncle side, liking brunches, liking the events that let me go. I'm probably transferring from.
I don't know. I don't know where we stand to whatever fan base we even have here. I've just been told, I do the whole vulnerable thing with the funny.
Oh no, you're definitely the vulnerable one on the podcast. Nah, I can tell you where you stand.
So the thing is, like, obviously now we're part of this scene and this culture that everybody wants to talk about to exist. I think blah 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 blah. And we got to touch on it briefly. But obviously now being more into it, what do you guys think of this whole conversation of the scene and the culture? Is there anything worth even talking about? Or are we just desperate to have a scene or culture?
It 100% is worth talking about, bro. Yeah. This year, like we said, it's the genesis, but it's also been the greatest year for the Irish scene, bro.
Irish scene, for sure.
Black and Irish scene. When I say the Irish scene, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's be honest. It's the main scene.
Yeah,
It's
Black culture
the
is pop
main
culture.
scene. If Brown Thomas know who they want to, who are they ringing?
Yeah,
Who are they calling?
No.
Or if RTE want to call someone, RTE.
Yeah,
RTE
but
in
the thing
theory-
is, the only thing is, I put an asterisk beside that because I want to see that in January. I want to see that
not
in
just
May.
Black History
I don't want to just see it in November.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's tiring. Oh, sorry, October. It's tiring to just see it in October. Like it's cool. All you guys have the back for us, and look, we will accept it.
Even in
Give
October,
it to us.
it'll come in
I'll-
October.
if-
Like I said, like we said on a different pod, I'm not above these things.
Yeah.
Give it to me. However, but it would be nice for us to see these things. Like I don't want to just see it in October. I want to see Cello fucking on Good Morning whatever. I want to see Cello, like I want to be in a hotel one day just chilling, and you know when you put on that stupid hotel TV, and I want to see Cello's face interviewing with some old white lady trying to cook.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just see we're more valuable than a month.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And we're showing our value now.
You're seeing it progressively.
Yeah.
I definitely think that black culture is the mainstream.
Yeah.
It's just about how, how we invite, create diversity in it, of course. But I think the black and Irish scene is leading.
Yeah.
Come on, wait. Kaja's hosting
Was it Ireland AM?
Ireland AM.
Oh, what? I don't know what it's called, but
Yeah, that's literally what's
oh yeah,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's literally
Yeah.
what's
So there you have it. Like,
No, yeah.
it's happening.
So back on the talk of the scene and the culture and the way you
Oh yeah. No, like what we've been doing so far is crazy. It's unprecedented. It has not been seen before, bro. What's called? Kenneth's pulling up on the podcast. When I don't know, Kenneth, when are you ready? Come on the podcast. He was the one who shot the thing for Brown Thomas. The boys are selling out shows. What's called? What's his name? Monjala is what's called?
Monjala supporting
Is
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi, and it's not.
Bumped into him backstage on Saturday. Humble guy as well. Humble guy too.
Bro, I could sit here and name
A lot of them
stupid
are
shit.
humble guys, and that's the thing that makes me kind of hopeful about it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're all kind of gonna stay to the roots, and are all gonna work together. And it's not like I hope, and maybe like I've always said, it's naive thinking. I hope when they do hit the mainstream, they kind of, I don't know, try uplift the scene.
I think
I can see that happen.
After watching Hamed do it, it fills me with hope.
No.
After
this-
watching Hamed do what he did there with the Burner Boy and pulling Black and Irish talent on.
Even,
you know what?
even,
Yeah.
it's now a place where we can do that. And just look at Dami. Also, let me take a moment to shout out my fucking friend, my fucking G, the best poet that has come out of Ireland.
Yes.
The best poet that has come out of Ireland
speech.
in the past decade or whatever.
sir.
I always tell her that she is actually no other Irish poet is touching her, and she's only starting, bro. Do you know I walk around randomly and I'm seeing my friend's fucking face on
Healthcare,
buses.
healthcare.
Bro, when I first saw that, Lay Healthcare were insuring me. Do you know how sick it is to see somebody that I give money to someone that I fuck with, someone that I know? Do you get what I'm saying? What's called Tolu's doing Smirnoff ads. She's
doing fucking the one in the not forbidden fruit, the one that's in
Electric Picnic.
Electric
She's
Picnic.
doing
I was thinking that. So you've obviously came up being friends with Tolu and Felicia.
yeah.
Isn't it mad that they're where they are now and they're just two friends?
But it's crazy because this even spins back to the point
I was
of
only thinking about that today, and I was gonna text you about it.
Yeah.
Is it not mad for you that
It's-
they're kind of at the heights they're at now?
bro, that is why I'm like, put your foot through the floor. Forget about put your foot through the floor, because I've watched we're gonna get them on the podcast. I've watched. Do you know the people that are around me? The things that the people that are around me are doing, bro. Like Kenneth, when he gets on the podcast, bro, he taught himself how to edit and all that kind of shit. He was just doing. He just said, "I'm gonna do vlogs every single day," and he kept editing and he kept editing and he kept editing. Now that's all he does. That's all he does. He's assistant directing TV shows. He's doing music videos. What's called Felicia used to just be. She just used to be chilling, working a regular 9 to 5. She just started writing. One day she just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna start writing poetry." Started doing poetry here, started doing poetry there, and then now that's all she does. She's producing shows. She's doing she's just doing a crazy shit. Tolu as well. Tolu just used to be working. She used to be chilling, singing, and cool. She could sing and shit like that. She just kept going with it. She kept singing. She kept doing what she needed to do. Kept going, and now she's doing all these crazy things. And this is why I like.
Because you see examples close to you.
I'm
and you see it's a result of, oh, they just showed up and worked hard.
Yeah, and
not just showed up, but like that. It takes that being there and working hard.
The fact that it's somebody that you know and you're close with, somebody that you've fucked with for years, and you can see that this person is a regular fucking person. It's not that I didn't have to meet her and say, oh my god, she's so humble. I met her before she had any of that. Do you get what I'm saying? I met both of them before they had any of what they have now. Do you get what I'm saying? Now my friend is on TV regularly. My friend is singing for the fucking president. They're calling her to sing shit in Irish. Bro, she's Irish, but she's not fucking from Ireland. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things where it kind of like, I can never feel comfortable in the situation that I'm in now. Because if I start naming the things that people around me are doing, I feel like a dickhead. I feel like, bro, all these people that they had all the same opportunities that I did, I just didn't take.
You saw the beginning, you saw the genesis,
bro,
and you just saw what it took. So you were like, why am I stopping? If I saw actually with my eyes, and that's what I mean, like by saying I'm not surprised. I saw myself, my dad, just work hard and just show up and working hard. I'm like, oh, if I do this, obviously the podcast is getting a bit more attention because my whole life it's what I've seen. I've seen you work hard, you be consistent, you will get results.
Like,
you know what
bro, like even Solomon as well, Portolo.
Yeah.
Bro, I met him as well. He was doing his thing. He's the one that's he's got genuine connections with people that are high up. They're giving him money to sign people and do crazy shit, bro. Like what we have done in the scene, like, bro. Tolu's face is on magazines. When Zeda she's doing editorial pictures and shit for magazine, bro. Within every aspect, within every fucking aspect, we're seeing our people do a fucking craziness. Fiona's helping put on fucking festivals and shit like that, bro. What we are doing is crazy, and the thing is, like, obviously it's crazy, but it's still small, right? Because we've only started, bro. Once you start. You seeing Catcher on TV, that's gonna be regular.
That's what I'm saying. That's
like
light.
it's that is gonna be regular, bro. Even the things that we're seeing, bro, man. Like if I start talking,
now we can go. Come on, Manjola doing Kid Cudi. It's gonna become the norm.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And it's just like it's just one of those situations where it's not embarrassing to be black and Irish. It's not embarrassing to not be from London. It's not embarrassing to not be from England or not be from America or whatever. Like we are who we are, and that's why I said when all these people do pop, they're gonna bring it back because nobody's shying away from it now, bro. Officer is shouting, "Droida, where I be." Every track is Droida. That's where I'm from. That's where me and my guys are from. Bro, A92. It's they're repping where they're from. Exactly. Everybody's bringing it back, and now we've gotten tired of being this. Oh, there's black people in Ireland, bro. If I hear that fucking again, I'll show you what we're showing you what we're doing. You know who the fuck we are now. Do you get what I'm saying?
That narrative has shifted because we still see this discourse that people in Black Irish aren't doing enough, people aren't supporting. It's like, no, you aren't doing enough.
Yeah.
And you're projecting, and that's cool, but that excuse can fly a few years ago. Yeah. But there's too much going on now in the scene.
And I think that's
it's a melting pot. Like it's happening now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, so, even what's called? I don't know who the owner is, but MCINO, whatever it is called. Did you see the level of quality of that? The shit that he brought out. Nigga had Lambos and shit. Yeah. Bro,
even gliders, or even I knew there was what hat was Dami wearing that?
Lagos thing is, I think it's Live Lagos.
Bro, tonight that exists. I'm like, this guy's doing Comme des Garçons looking designs, and then he's doing collab with gliders who are doing it. They're convincing you to pay €240 on a tracksuit.
And niggas will pay because it's worth it. Yes. Like, we're not doing subpar shit anymore. Bro, I don't even think it was this year. Evans Jr. flew out somewhere and made a crazy video.
Him on that Diana song.
Bro, stop. Even, like, the quality of shit that is coming out now.
That's why, like, we were having a conversation coming in the cars. Like, that's why sometimes I find it difficult, and people say you're dick riding, whatever. But at the minute, I find it difficult to criticize people.
Dick talk.
I find it difficult I personally,
dick rider.
Yeah, I find it difficult to criticize people that are doing it for like 1 year. Like you're saying about Tolu and Felicia, it's not a result of what they've done for 1 year. It's a result of what they've probably done for like 5-6 years.
It seems like it's overnight.
And I know that's what it seems like, but like he can say he's seen it from the infancy, and you can tell us it's not like it just didn't happen in 2022. So sometimes they're like we're being critical of people like it's in like, and I know and I understand the conversation, and yes, there's different. You have to be honest and you have to be critically honest and what's called constructive criticism, and that's a thing. There's a thing between constructive criticism and just pure hating. If I see someone who's doing something for 6 months and I'm like, look, Felicia's probably started at 6 months, so she wasn't as good, but look at the results of where she is now. Yeah. If someone's doing it for 3 years and it's not slapping, maybe it's not for you, bro. Maybe it's not for you. But
even you can still grow kind of incrementally.
Yeah. Why you say fuck me for?
If you're just not seeing growth at all.
You get that. And and I agree with that. It's just like what we're seeing now, the growth we're seeing now is a result of what people are doing for 5 years. And that's why that conversation, when you go to corporation, they ask you what's your 5-year plan. Because it's a build-up. It just didn't happen for people. And we'll have conversation of like, oh, what you think of this, what you think of this. I just look as like, how long have they been doing it? And before then, I'm critical. I'm like, okay, give them time. Because that's the grace I want. If you play some of our first episodes and you're listening and you're like, man, this is a bit...
Them shit's on fire.
Yeah, and then you could come
Check them out on Culture Shop Media.
If you come now, you'll be like, okay, maybe they're getting it into it now. They know how to talk. There's no topics, but they can still talk. So that's another thing we have to learn. We can be constructive and we can give criticism, and like you can say maybe it's too early for us to be giving awards, and that's a point of view I understand. But at the same time, like you're saying, it's at that sweet spot where we're seeing results at a higher level. We're seeing Munjala Kid Cudi. We're seeing the officer do songs with the band. So we're actually seeing these results now. So give people grace to grow, but also learn to be like. There's one thing about me being a hater, and I'll always say, oh yes, I'm a hater. But when it comes within the Irish scene itself right now, I don't think we're at, like I can be. I was like, oh, how long they've doing it? 6 months. Let me hate.
But we can't even hate. Like I think it's something that we have to try to preserve so much and protect.
Yeah, especially now when we're starting. Yeah. Especially now. Well, my next question, like, is then like, because I know we're gonna wrap up soon. It's like we talked about 2022. We pretty much covered the Irish scene. Expand like what you hope going into 2023 personally and podcasting before we.
Do you wanna go first?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I just want a bit more independence in my life. Like I've had a year where, I've gone through the transitional phase. Obviously, I'm looking at my older peers. I'm kind of looking at the independence they have and the experience they have. And to be honest, for my personal life, I do want that. It feels like something I've been quite
into the mic.
Yeah. It feels like something I've been quite, kind of restricted to recently. So, I like my own independence. I like to be a bit more comfortable in my own skin, mature a little bit, and that's it. Personally.
Yeah, for me, 2023 is just about expansion. Like within my personal life, like in my home, my salary, my just job, my ways. I just want to grow, like in 2023. And like I said, there's certain things that happened this year that made me realize how much I want like something, and then I'm just like, okay, I want that to be a part of it, and taking this and not being shy and like learning that okay, even if we do a live show with 30 people and that's all that show up, that's okay, because it's still expansion to the next step. It's like it's a next step to get to 100. That's why in terms of the podcast I wanted to grow, and I think that's it, just expansion. I wanted to get bigger and better, and that's what I want to see in the scene. And when we did the culture shop culture check thing, and I said I want the same things that happen. I want these people, like, we're building it and we're seeing people are coming, like the Guinness Def Jam. They came to us because they said, oh, what's opening over there? Let's go fuck with them. So I want all of those events to even expand. So 2023 for me is more about expansion. That's my word of the year.
Same thing again, consistency. Like, just building that consistency. And I feel like I've let the ball drop just in the whole thing of being nonchalant or just laid back or whatever. Like I feel like I let that be my personality trait for so long that it doesn't benefit you. Like, bro, man, that I don't give a fuck attitude. Like, really, it's a trauma response if we want to go deeper. But you know what? Maybe 2023. But actually, no. Genuinely, 2023 therapy will come. You guys will start seeing me come and say, "Guys, I'm in touch with my emotions and shit."
I just sound like a wanker when you say that. My emotions and shit.
Nah, but what's called, like, I feel like I've just let myself down on a lot of personal things. I've let myself down, and you know what? I feel like 2022 was the year of breaking my reality. In the fact of, like, I had a perception of myself that
wasn't the reality. reality of who you are.
Yeah, and it got shattered this year. Like that shit got shattered
There's such thing
to
as ego
bits.
debt. Remember Stephen was saying it was like you suffer a lot of ego debts of who you think you know who you are, and then things happen, your ego gets bruised, broken, and you have to figure it out again. And it can happen within you. We might think we're the coldest podcast, then we'll see a podcast podding. They're like, nah, we need to step up our game. Like, that's
Literally.
what ego debt.
Yeah, so like ego death, just kind of like I feel like, you know what, I'm gonna be transparent with y'all today. I feel like I haven't been a man of my word, and that's bothered me because I feel like that's one of the things I thought I stood on, but I actually don't. And just even stuff like I'm gonna get that podcast to you next week. Next week comes, you don't hear from me. Like that's my word. I told you I have something done, and it's not done, and it just makes me feel weird. Do you get what I'm saying? And it even got to a place where if I would disappear, I'd almost be embarrassed to come back, and then that would make me disappear for another week, and then another week, and it's kind of like now, because I fucked up 1 week, I've been so much of a pussy to come back and face the consequences. Now that I've gone for 3 weeks, do you get what I'm saying? And it's kind of like now saying if I say I'm going to do something, is it an excuse or is life literally telling you that Deji, you physically cannot do that? Do you get what I'm saying? And just kind of like, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to fucking do it. Like, if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to fucking be there unless something crazy happens and I can't be there. Just being a man of my word, being consistent, and just genuinely, you know what, just
Finding a wife for you as well.
no. 20, maybe 2025, 6. 25, 5, 6. But also, yeah, just like, you know what? 2023 is the year of living my fucking dream. That's what it is. It's the year of living my fucking dream. I'm going to start living my dreams. I'm going to start getting paid for just being fucking me. And that's what I want for myself. And what I want for the scene, bro, like, I root for everybody. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I know I throw a lot of shots and I say fuck people and all that, but I genuinely want to see everybody win. I don't have any ups, but if I was to have ups and they were doing something crazy, I would big them up. Do you get what I mean? Because
life is hard for everybody. Just because I get what you're saying, because just because I might not get along with you. If you're doing something genuinely cool, and we all know to get to certain levels, you can't do it without consistency and hard work. I can sit here and have an agenda on somebody, like so I can sit here and have an agenda on Mourinho, for example. But for him to win the Champions League, it takes fucking work. Like I could sit here and have an agenda on another podcast, but if I see that podcast get a Spotify deal, I have to that's got to be acknowledged, because I'm like, no, you have to be cold for them to come to you and give you the bag. I just have a personal agenda, but for you to get to that level, it's always a thing you say, you don't have to like me, but you're gonna respect me. Do you know that kind of way?
yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And just become more in touch with my emotions and shit.
Well, I think that's us, our personal wrap up. If like we can do our thing now to get out your Spotify.
Oh yeah.
Before we wrap up and get out of here.
Yeah, because y'all niggas don't know that it's late. We
Dave,
tired.
What was your top 5 podcasts of the
I
year?
can't escape. Oh, top 5. Oh, right.
Let's do that. Top 5 podcast. We're on a podcast, so.
Oh yeah, I could do it because I actually listen to podcasts on what's it called.
HG podcast in hindsight, to get in touch with my emotions, like Dave likes to say, just to meditate. Football ramble for my football. 90s baby show. Come on. And I said this before, even on the podcast, this is my guilty pleasure. Uncle Joey's joint.
Yeah, I saw you. I actually saw
Watch that
on
video
Joey Diaz.
if I'm high or if I'm sleepy.
Joey Diaz.
That's the one. That's the one. It's weird. His voice it suits me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
My top 5 podcasts of the year is Flagrant 2, Brilliant Idiots. Shocked. 90s Babies, Joe Rogan Experience, and Charges to the Game. Someone says, how's your own podcast? No one. Ron said, how's your own podcast in your top 5? I was like, I have to go back and listen to the podcast.
You do like that.
I was thinking that, and then I was like, actually, it makes sense because you have to go back and listen to it. most of the time.
Why you guys do think I'm trying to find my podcast
What's
of the
your
year?
top 5 songs, do you know? I'll do mine. My top 5 songs is Last by Burna Boy, obviously. Amari by J. Cole. It's Plenty, Burna Boy. Shake Body with Daryl Bengo. Daryl, release music, bro. You musicians don't want to do music. I like you can see, I tagged you in it. So release music and sharing location. Meet Me a Little Dirk, Little Baby.
Where do I find this stupid podcast thing?
Mine's.
You don't have it, bro. You don't have the premium. Some people don't have it yet.
Oh wow, like that, yeah.
Mine's
Mine just called me broke.
What is yours?
A lot of Jack. Mine's Jack Harlow dominates. Young Harleasy, Nail Tech. I do my top 3 are Jack Harlow songs. I do anything to make you smile. Sticky, Drake, and then Family Ties. Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar.
Your top 5 artists?
Drake, Jack Harlow, of course. Drake, I can't escape. Like, I feel like I don't even listen to Drake like that, but just he'll still end up like not even top 3, number 1 every single. I think it's just the amount of catalog he's dropped this year. It's just like he's surely dropped about 3 albums this year. No, two albums on Cancer. Jack Harlow, Kate Renata, shout out John Tamboy, he loved that one. Brockhampton, Kendrick Lamar.
I can tell you what my podcasts are. My podcasts are 3 Shots Tequila, Where's Your Head At, 90s Babies, and probably and HC. That's it.
Yeah, and then my top 5 artists of the year are Burna Boy, J. Cole. J. Cole gets in every year. Drops or no drop, he's gonna get in.
J. Cole can make my own, actually.
Kanye West, Cello, because people think I'm gassing, but I genuinely fuck with Cellotape.
Bro, Cellotape is actually cold.
Sellotape's cold.
No, like
I'm surprised
genuinely,
Sellotape wasn't on mine and all.
you know, like it because
Very,
obviously
very surprised.
I have the CD in my car, so I just be throwing it. Like I actually genuinely enjoy his music.
Yeah, no,
Like it's not even gas.
genuinely. So I think that's it. So this episode it'll probably drop 28th December. Christmas would have happened. Hope you guys have your Merry Christmas and you've enjoyed it.
Stay safe, oh.
And that's our yearly wrap up. Comment, like, and subscribe.
Last thing. Oh shit.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Last thing I will say. Look, everybody that's tuned in, everybody liked the thing, everybody that shared. Or actually, no, hold on. Yo, last thing, yeah. Because they're gonna say if I don't do this, I'm not leaning in. I'm too safe. But yeah, I just wanted to say everybody, yeah, all you people that have listened, all you people that have liked, all the guests that have showed up on the show, everybody that shared the thing, everybody that subscribed. If you haven't subscribed to Culture Shop Media and subscribe to Charge to the Game Pod and Charge to the Game Pod on TikTok and Insta. But yeah, no, like genuinely, like man, like I want to say this as humbly as possible because I really, really like. Not even just me. I'll speak for the boys here as well. We fucking appreciate everybody, everybody that's invited us somewhere. Everybody that's come up to us and said you like the podcast. Everybody that has just Ronn, Beckley, Vision Lab to help put the podcast together.
All the guests this use your time, your petrol, your resource. Like
even I have to shout this man out. Jesse, shout out to you for it's the first putting us in the studio the first time. Like everybody that's gotten us to this place where we need to be here and how getting us here. Thank you. We fucking appreciate you. And yeah, that's it, innit? Have a happy new year. Everybody enjoy time with your family. Be safe. You know, this is the time of year that people don't make it to the next year. We don't want you to be one of those ones. We want you to click subscribe next year because you know we like that number. You know that. You know we like that.
Because we care about you too.
Who's your dream guest next year? Who's really one person let's say with a quick one, it's like we don't just get to an hour, I guess. Who's your dream person that you would say, okay, next year I'd love to get to on the pod?
Next year,
so it has to be kind of like a bit realistic, unless
Next year we're getting Marvin Abbey on this podcast.
Marvin,
we're getting Marvin Abbey on this podcast next year, and also we're getting 90s Baby on this podcast next year. I'm saying that for a fact now, and I said next year. I'm sticking to what I'm saying. Those two people will sit on this podcast.
You want Marvin Abbey over Taser?
I fuck with Marv. I don't want anybody over anybody, but I want all of them. Yeah, and but what's called?
Just start with that.
Yo, Jafar's pull up, bro.
Because I like the way
that's kind of overdue, if anything.
Yeah, I like the way he thinks and the way he talks. I watch his diaries, and I'm like, I like to talk to him.
She a show, man.
Respectful guy.
She a show, man.
Yeah, no, I will. Like I told you, I'm not booking anybody. 2022. Well, by this time, I'll start booking people again. So.
Next week we back.
next week I'll be back booking people. Yeah, no, I'd like to have a chat with Jafaris. Obviously, the UK people. Oh, my dream guest, Lippy. I would love to have Lippy on the pod. Lippy, you ever see this? Come on. If anybody. The guy is just brilliant. He's just comedic.
What? Lippy's man. Let's just tweet Lippy and just say Lippy come.
I'll probably say Liaz and Cams maybe for a bit of football, and I think that one's doable. Chucky, connects. Chucky and Poet. So I put in 4, but they're the ones I honestly see realistically the podcast having, and they're the ones I'd love to have as well.
Yeah. Well, Lads, thank you. Hope you guys. I've enjoyed doing this year with you. I know we have our quirks here and there, but that's actually nothing major ever. It's been a good year, and if you didn't like anything that we said this whole year, well, charge it.
Charge
Thank you for
it.
listening.